If you've got a Visa or a Mastercard in your wallet, you gotta listen to this because US stores just got permission to say, nope, we don't take that card anymore. And yeah, this could mess with your rewards too.
Pretty soon, your Visa credit card may no longer be accepted at every store. Visa and Mastercard just reached a $38 billion settlement, allowing stores to decide which credit cards they will accept.
A new settlement in the works between some major credit card companies and merchants that accept those cards could change what fees you pay and whether you can even use what's in your wallet to make that purchase.
The average person, what it means is that some of the credit cards that they use or that they've taken for granted and earn them these perks, they may not be able to use them in the same way or in the same locations that they used to.
And soon you'll see how stores suddenly have the power to decline some cards that once worked everywhere, while you may start seeing hidden surcharges start popping up on receipts and checkout screens with zero announcement, and how this pressure could eventually squeeze premium travel cards out of existence. Oh, and by the way, if all of these changes to Visa and MasterCard have you wondering which cards you should actually go after right now, I put together a free pre-approval master list, and it shows you exactly which cards you're already pre-approved for with just a soft pull. So you're not wasting hard inquiries while banks and stores are changing their rules behind the scenes. So just hit the link below to get it for free. It updates every single month. But listen, moving on. For decades, if a store accepted one Visa card, they had to accept them all. Same for MasterCard. That rule is completely going away. And because swipe fees fund the rewards we all love, the big cashback cards, the premium travel cards, the ones with 3 to 5x multiple categories, stores are tired of paying billions of dollars just so that we can earn points. Every time you swipe your card, the store pays 2+% fees. That fee goes to banks and card networks, and 86% of it funds rewards, points, and cash back and travel perks. And nobody talks about this part. Your rewards are funded by the store, not the bank. And stores have been fighting that system for 2 decades. So this new settlement is the closest they've ever come to winning anything. So let's talk about what's actually changing. And I would say here's the part that, most people online are getting wrong. So number one, stores can now choose which categories of cards to accept. Not random individual cards, but full tiers of cards. So standard no rewards cards, premium rewards cards, commercial cards. If they accept a category, they must accept all the cards inside of that category. And this gives stores leverage that they've never had before, which is why banks are secretly furious behind the scenes about it. And then two, surcharges are officially on the table up to 3%. And this is the thing that you and I will feel the most. So some stores may start adding a, 3+% fee for premium cards. Your rewards card is still going to work. It'll just cost more to use. And then three, swipe fees get capped for 5 years. Now that sounds great, right? Well, not really, because lower fees equals less money for rewards and then pressure on banks to cut those perks long term. So you're probably going to expect a slow drip of weaker multipliers, harder redemptions, higher annual fees, travel benefits quietly disappearing, not overnight, but over the next few years. And I've been seeing a lot of experts saying that in the short term, not much is going to change. And that's because, again, 85% of all cards today are rewards cards, and almost 90% of spending happens on those same cards. Stores can't realistically reject them without annoying tons of customers. So you can breathe a little bit. You're not losing your Amex Gold tomorrow. But long term, this will completely change credit card rewards. But quietly, surcharges become more normal. Retailers raise prices to offset fees. Banks quietly downgrade rewards. Even mid-tier cards could get weaker. This is less an apocalypse scenario, more death by a thousand cuts. So the deal is that your cards aren't getting shut off. That's not happening. But the system that funds your rewards is changing quietly in a massive way behind the scenes. And the settlement is just step one, not the final move. As I said before, over time, perks are going to get trimmed, fees are going to shift, and surcharges will start showing up where you least expect them. I just asked my community what they were most worried about, and I would say the responses were kind of all over the place. Some people said they were worried about rewards getting weaker. Others absolutely hate the idea of new credit card surcharges surcharges showing up at the checkout line. And I would say the comments really show how divided people are. For example, Andrew said, if a store does not accept my rewards card or charges me a fee to use it, retailers have basically shot themselves in the foot because customers with travel cards or cashback cards will take their business to a competitor. You'll start seeing signs like, we accept all credit cards or no credit card fees. And then Chris said, not very worried yet. The rewards are nice, and if they get too weak, I would probably pay with debit cards more often. As a merchant, I already surcharge, well, cash discount, so there are no charges on that side, and it won't affect my bottom line. If a business refuses to accept some cards, people will just go where they can use their favorite card. The business ultimately loses. I have walked out of a business because they do not accept cards at all, or they don't accept Amex. I know it's crazy, right? But there are merchants not taking cards in 2025. And then another, a completely different Chris said, I'll happily pay cash if surcharges start popping up. So let's talk about the moves that will put you in the strongest position as all this plays out. So first, don't make any sudden moves right now. Seriously. Look, this isn't a doomsday moment. Nobody's shutting off your Chase Sapphire tomorrow. No one is yanking those 3 to 5x multipliers out of your hands next week. This settlement is a slow burn, a multi-year rollout, not an overnight credit card apocalypse. So the worst thing you could do right now is open 5 new cards. Or worse, cancel 3 of them. Please don't do that. Or start rearranging your whole setup because someone on social media said premium cards are dead. So just stay calm, play the long game. Then 2, build a balanced wallet. Your future self is going to thank you for that. If reward structures weaken, if surcharges start popping up somewhere, or if stores get picky about which cards they take, the people with flexibility are going to win. So build a wallet that can handle curveballs. Maybe you have one low fee Visa or Mastercard. That's going to be a reliable everywhere card. And maybe one premium rewards card. You can use that strategically for travel, major categories, and big redemptions. Obviously, you're going to have a debit card too, but not for everyday spending at this point, just as an emergency option if a store refuses all credit. Think of it like having tools in your toolkit, right? You don't want to be the person stuck at checkout arguing over a 3% fee or walking away from a purchase because your go-to card suddenly doesn't get accepted there. And you also want to read those emails from your bank. Yeah, the boring ones that you get all the time, And I would say it's really an uncomfortable truth that banks never announce the bad news loudly. They never do. They like to bury it. You know where they bury it? In those changes to your card member agreement emails that everyone ignores. Inside of those little PDF attachments is where they quietly slip those changes in. So annual fee increases, weaker multipliers, new redemption caps, elimination of certain travel protections. New minimums are restrictions they hope that you don't question. When you see one of those emails, don't just skim through it. Don't archive it. Don't assume it's nothing, because that's where you'll see the first signs of how this settlement is impacting your rewards before the rest of the world even notices. And let's say you run a business, this is going to matter to you even more. This settlement doesn't just affect your wallet, it's going to affect your income, your customers, and really your bottom line. So now is the time to call your payment processor and ask, which card tiers cost me the most to accept? Premium cards could be eating into your margins more than you even realize. You could ask them, is there a smarter way to route transactions so I'm not overpaying in fees? And you could ask, if I ever decide to add a small surcharge, what are the rules I need to follow so that I stay compliant? You really want to get ahead of things as much as possible. And that's not the only thing you need to get ahead of. I'm always warning you guys about these bank scams that keep popping up left and right, because scammers are out there working overtime, coming up with new ways to drain people's accounts every single month. And that's exactly why I put together a playlist with all the biggest bank scams that you need to know about right now. We're talking sneaky phone scams, shady credit card tricks, and even scams that banks won't warn you about. So don't wait until it's too late. Click on the playlist right here, right now to stay one step ahead of the scammers. Thank you for watching.